Well, hello there guys, and welcome to our Scourge of War WAVRE stream. We're just making sure that everything is working up to par, and that we're able to get a decent stream going here. Sorry for those 2 minutes of delay. We had some technical issues, but hopefully now we won't be saddled with those whatsoever, and we're going to go ahead and jump into a single-player game. So we do want to play the WAVRE campaigns here, and I think we're going to go for... one moment. This is not WAVRE. All right, gentlemen, we're going to be back. For those of you just arriving, give us 1 second, and we will come back with WAVRE. It should be playing. I'm going to try one more time. Here we go. Wonderful. So we do have WAVRE. So I was thinking of starting with the Prussians just because it's a bit more of a challenge, a little bit more fun in a way, and overall, it's more fun in the sense of defense, of course, and I am more of a defensive campaigner. So I think we're going to go for the Division, the Prussian division at La Grande Pointe. This is supposed to be a 1 hour battle. We're not sure just how long we're going to get into the stream. We're going to try to do 1 hour, but we're going to launch the scenario and hope for the absolute best here. So we know that the French are approaching from the front, and we absolutely have to be prepared for them and for their assault. Let's go ahead and see how we do. I will, of course, keep trying to check out the chat as you guys arrive, but please give us some time. So one thing we have to keep in mind is we are supposed to hold this position as best we can. Now, one thing I'm going to do, we have some reinforcements back here. I'm going to bring these reinforcements forward to essentially hold this position. In fact, we might have control of these reinforcements quite yet. Let's select them. There we go. To make sure that we don't lose this starting position. Now, once we move forward to deal with the French, we might be in a situation where we have to leave this specific area, and that would obviously not be the best thing in the world, and would also lose us all the objective points. Okay, von Luck und Witten. French forces have appeared on the hills facing the town of Wavre. Enemy artillery is already bombarding the town. We can expect an infantry assault at any time. The enemy must not be allowed to cross to the north side of the river. Hold the Sablon area as long as practical. So we have to hold the Grand Pont area at all costs. So the second objective is going to appear about 20 minutes from the first one. Now the thing is, we have to keep at least 500 men here to hold this initial objective, and obviously that can be a little bit difficult, not the easiest thing in the world to do. So I am going to try to split this battalion just by 100 men. I'll show you guys later why I'm doing this. I'm essentially getting some skirmishers up first to hold the line. So we're not going to be doing anything insane immediately. We're not going to be leaving this position immediately. I feel fairly confident that we can hold our line with some smaller units. Now, whether or not that's the case, we'll soon find out. Give me one moment. Stop, Männer. Okay, once again, we're going to split, and this time I'm going to take 100 men. A few more men than before, of course. But once again, these are going to act as essentially skirmisher units. So we're going to put them forward like the rest of these units are, and try to see if we can't stop the French before they even make it to these front lines. So as you can see, we're already getting bombarded by some of the French artillery, but we can see the French infantry directly ahead of us, and they pose a pretty serious threat. There's a lot of them coming this way, and our job, of course, is to stop them at all costs. Now, considering we have about 1/6 of their men and their manpower, this is going to be a lot harder. Nonetheless, we're still going to try. I'm going to keep most of the men over here by this defensive position. I might move up one of these infantry brigades over this way. So let's do that. But we do want to keep our general and one group back here to essentially hold this position. I'm also going to move one group over here so that we can fire at the enemy from multiple locations. But hopefully these skirmishers will be able to cover this area without our help or our assistance. All right, let's see. Okay, already we're going to get some shots coming in. Our skirmishers are probably going to start firing very, very soon here. Now, we don't want to keep our skirmishers on volley fire. We want to let them fire at will and try to just knock down as many of these Frenchmen as absolutely possible, and see what happens from that point on. So here we go. Still taking shots from the enemy artillery, of course. I want to bring the rest of these skirmishers up as well, the 100 units we just created, and see if we can't hold out just a little bit against the enemy. So let's bring these guys forward. All right, there we go, guys. We have already begun to fire. Of course, we've got these men as well, so we'll bring them in here too. So basically, just anybody we can get right now to start firing would be excellent. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to spot the enemy fairly soon as well. Okay, they've already spotted them. They just have to break the cover of that house. We could actually see a few of the enemy already falling on the ground. So we're definitely getting some decent shots here. We need to continue firing. Now, eventually our men will retreat because they're simply not in a position to hang around very long. These are not large brigades. But if we can confuse the enemy as much as possible and just diminish their numbers, we're already off to a very good start here. Take a look here. Hello, Balk. How are you doing? Yes, very sorry about that. We had an issue with the stream initially. It does seem like it's back up now, and everything should be running just fine. So, once again, this is the first time we've done a stream on Slytherin Games Press. Excuse me, Matrix Games Press. Shame on me. We are, of course, brother and sister companies, but in this case, we are playing on the Matrix site and trying to focus on some Matrix games. Just recently, we did a Twitch stream, of course, of Strategic Command, but we wanted to give you guys a taste of WAVRE, especially for those of you that have always really been into the Scourge of War WAVRE series. So here we go. We've got to get our men up. That's enough men. Halt. Stop and shoot. As you can see, these guys are going to pull back. Again, they're acting as skirmishers, so once they get too close to the enemy, the best thing to do for them is pull back and basically get some cover, continue firing, etc. Right now we're doing a pretty good job against these French. They're actually very confused. They're moving all over the place, taking some serious hits. In fact, this unit may break very soon, and the reason I'm doing this is quite simple. Number one, we're outnumbered. Number two, we're under heavy artillery fire. And number three, the fact is the French in general just fight much better than the Prussians do. I mean, there's no way around that. They've got more heavily trained men, of course, and I'm thinking that to get a victory here, we're going to have to bring up a ton of these skirmishers and just basically fire at them from distance, retreat, and continue that goal and that strategy until they give up and just say, forget it, it's not even worth it. As you can see, they're approaching with some reinforcements. We're trying to hit as many of them as possible. Who knows, maybe we'll get lucky and hit one of these generals, but that would, of course, be the best case scenario. So you can already see some of our skirmishers are pulling back. Not all of them, of course, but a good number of them. And I'm actually going to put these skirmishers on volley mode, which is not something I recommend for these guys. They do better firing on their own. They don't need to be given orders. In general, they take the best shots when they're not being told to take the best shots. But just for this particular situation, I am going to have them volley fire. Let's stop that. And actually, we're going to have these guys volley fire. We're already reloading. You can see the enemy taking some serious hits. A lot of French are down here. In fact, I don't think we've lost a single man so far. If we take a look there, and there we go. A nice shot from all of our men. We're mainly focusing on this brigade, and the rest of the French have no idea what to do. They might be trying to flank over here on the right side, but I don't even anticipate that. Besides, if they do, we can always bring this unit up, which we're trying to do right now. We're going to have them run into place to defend that left flank, and we're still holding the victory position. We, of course, got Oberst Konstantin Gottlieb von Zeppelin. Lovely name there. Holding the line and assisting the skirmishers at essentially keeping their cool. Let's take a look here really quickly. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first, I believe, one of our first live streams on YouTube with Slytherin, or with Matrix Games Press, excuse me. Many of you have probably been to our Slytherin counterparts, of course, and watched those streams. And we're trying to bring that same sort of feeling to the YouTube community. We usually stream on Twitch, of course, with all of our games for both Matrix and Slytherin. In this case, we're trying out the live, or the YouTube dashboard, I should say, the live dashboard as it's called. So let us know if you can hear everything, if you want to see more of this, of course. Not nearly as many viewers here as we do have on our Twitch streams, but we're trying to change that slowly but surely. All right, look at this. Now the French are advancing en masse, and it's making me a little concerned. Of course, we still got our skirmishers back here and at the front, and we're trying to basically keep the French army at bay with just those skirmishers. I'm hoping that they're enough. I want to bring these guys over here. We might have to bring some units forward, but we have to keep a good portion of our army back here because we need to hold the point. So I'm actually going to move these guys forward. I'll keep these gentlemen behind. We're in no position to resupply, nor do we need to, but we definitely need to continue firing. And look at that, the skirmishers are doing exactly what they started doing. Remember, we're supposed to hold this position, so if we have to fire a little bit, pull back, fire a little bit, and pull back, I have no problem doing that for the rest of the battle, just to keep the French at bay. But then we're going to get new orders in 20 minutes. Who knows? We might get some reinforcements, or not. We've got to take a look at these French corps. I mean, they definitely look intimidating, and they look like they're definitely not here to mess around. But, incredibly, we've managed to hold them over here at the river because of this continuous fire from our own skirmisher units. So I think if we can hold the French back a little bit longer, we're going to be in a very good position. Move these men up a little bit more until they at least get eyes on the enemy. I'm going to grab our General Oberst Konstantin von Gottlieb and get him behind the men, because pretty soon the enemy will reach a certain point where they are able to spot us pretty easily. Let's halt right here. We should be able to fire from this position. Come on, Mena! And of course the goal is to not allow them to get into charging range. That's why I'm going to bring in a regular infantry unit here to assist. But really this battle, in my opinion, this defensive battle can only be won with skirmisher units. I might even bring in the Fusilier brigades, sort of assist here, and we're actually getting some artillery hits, it looks like, unless I'm mistaken, on them. It could also be accidental fire from their own guns. It's definitely a possibility. But let's see if we're in range yet. Nope. I could even detach another group of skirmishers, but I want to give them some full volley fire to deal with. Pause here for 1 second and take a look at the chat, of course. Okay, here we go. So we've got to be careful moving men out of this particular area because, of course, if we leave enough, we'll actually lose this objective, which is exactly the one we're trying to hold. We've got some men on the right. We absolutely have to go into volley fire to hold them back. Our skirmishers are going to get pretty tired out pretty quickly, and those French are moving very fast into position. The 88 Endelin, we've got to hit them, and there we go. Volley fire knocking down a lot of them, as you can see, but not nearly enough. Eventually, if they get too close to our own skirmishers, our skirmishers are going to have to get into close combat, hand-to-hand combat, which is not something that they excel at. I almost want to try to do a charge, but I think we could repel any charge coming from this particular brigade. And look at that, our skirmishers, of course, pulling back as they damn well should. And we're going to go ahead and give them another taste of volley fire. We don't want them to get too close. And there we go. They're going to set up right in front of us. Beautiful shot for our men. Boom. Already knocking down a few of them. And I think at this range, we can make short work of the French. They are going to reform here, make some longer lines, but we're going to just keep doing what we're doing, guys. Remember, 20 minutes is how long we're supposed to hold. If we can do that, then we're going to be just fine. There we go. Look at that. They are going to break away and run way back to Paris. There's no way they can continue this, and that's definitely good news for us. Now, I'm actually going to wheel our men to the left so that they can keep firing at the other brigades. We don't seem to have any enemy brigades on our right flank. We don't have to worry about them, but I do want to move these Fusiliers up. And let's move the skirmishers up a little bit more. They can actually shoot the enemy from this distance, but they're currently being blocked by our Fusilier unit, so I'm going to move them over here. These men are looking great. The French must hate this situation because they're actually being shot by a much smaller force, and they do seem to be a bit confused. But I want is a lucky shot to hit one of these French generals, especially Marshal de Camp Baron René Joseph Duperreux. If we could, that would help us big time. But I'm happy enough just to keep the initial lines back and receive our next group of orders. To our Scourge of War WAVRE, excuse me. If we could, that would help us big time. But I'm happy enough just to keep the initial lines back and receive our... Okay guys, just checking the stream very quickly here. Massive artillery strikes coming in at this point. It looks like some shell shot, which is very possible at this distance. But it does look like they may have moved those cannons up a little closer because we weren't taking hits like that before. Nonetheless, we're going to keep up the carnage, try and see if we can get at least to the 20-minute mark of the battle. That's going to make me very happy. I'm almost thinking at this point, if we had our full group here and left the objective point, we could even charge these guys and probably get a pretty good result. But I think this is a better idea. Kind of hold the line and fight from this distance and just keep harassing them with our skirmishers. A lot of dead and wounded French ahead of us. They're not going to be going anywhere as far as I'm concerned. Those guys have already run. And these guys are going to run very soon, too. You can definitely take my word for it. Let them have it, boys. Our men are almost in a perfect position here. Boom! Right there. Just look at that drop in numbers. And a few more getting hit by the skirmishers. You can just see them dropping left and right. These guys are absolutely going to break away very soon. And then they'll send their next group forward, and we'll do the exact same thing to them. I feel a little bit more safe with an ammo wagon, but I don't think we need it. One thing I'm not liking is they've got some more reserves back here. Just when I thought they had nothing left, they do have some reserves back there to move up just in case these guys don't make it, which they most certainly will not. Move our skirmishers forward over here. We're going to be firing at them from multiple locations, as I said before, and we'll do the same over here with the first Kumakische, probably mangling that name, brigade, and we're still holding the line. Like I said, we've got to keep a general and a group back here just to hold this position, this objective point, to let the French know that they have not taken Wavre, they haven't broken through. Napoleon's not going to be happy, but that's exactly our point. That's what we're trying to do, is make sure that he's completely unhappy. We're going again for the volley fire. It looks like our men are actually kind of going for the volley fire without us even saying anything. And it's probably because they realize just how many enemies there are. But I like to actually click the volley fire button, let most of them reload, and then go ahead, release, and boom. Just a beautiful group of shots by our men. Of course, now reloading. Amazing, these guys have stuck around. We must give it to the ADM Galine. The Brigade Jonjou, they are definitely brave, but not very smart. Move forward. So I don't like to do this, we're just having men run in an open field. It's obviously going to sap their strength in case we need to get into some close combat, but in this one particular situation, I'm going to let them do it, just so that they can start firing en masse on the enemy in front of us. Once again, we're going to go for that volley fire. So we're going to let these guys take their time to reload their weapons. prepare to volley fire. You can see a few of them already putting their rifles out, preparing to shoot, of course. And there we go. That volley fire sent that brigade running. Look at all those Frenchmen down. Just a massive amount of volley fire, not making them happy at all. They're just going to have to keep sending the men up. And honestly, if I were playing as the French right now, I would be very scared to be in this line. We can see already all of the bloodshed we have caused. And the enemy general is actually in a very dangerous position, Jean-Jules. A bullet could easily hit him or his aide-de-camp pretty easily. We're going to go ahead and put it back on volley fire. It doesn't look like our Fusilier battalion is getting any shots, so we'll move them forward. The same seems to be the case with this unit. No, they're getting shots. There we go. Ooh. Although the enemy are at quite a distance at this particular juncture, I'm not going to move forward. Remember, it's currently their objective to get to us, not the other way around. And I want it to stay that way. Fusiliers of the line, no, you stay put. We could actually pop off a few more skirmisher battalions if we wanted, but I think we're good for now. Running across that river desperately. I would do the same with the 3rd Battalion, watching them, and these guys are also going to probably do the same here. Retreat once again. I'm guessing that our next objective is going to be to move forward. I can't see this going anywhere else, because as far as I can see, we have decimated the French infantry for the most part. And we can continue to do so. In fact, I'm going to move these guys up just a little bit. We lost 15 men, we killed 112. I would call that a pretty good situation. There we go, getting back into range. We are having to get quite close to get into range though, which is slightly troubling. As you can see, 15, now 16. The enemy could definitely do some damage to us here. So we're going to stop right here. Prepare to fire. And give them another volley fire round. Make sure the enemy's not trying anything sneaky. I don't see any enemies on that side. Although on this side, if you guys take a look over here, some of them might be trying to cross the bridge. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference for them, though. They're pretty finished as far as I can tell. And we can always just turn our men to the left here to face them. Of course, I'd feel much more comfortable if more than less of the enemy is completely destroyed here before they try crossing that bridge. And I think that casualty count ahead of us shows that they're going to take some serious losses no matter what they do. Ooh. All that gunpowder, we can barely see our own men. You can see that the Fusiliers on this side are doing an excellent job just free firing. A few of them have fallen, but not too many. In fact, I can get the exact count. 28 lost, 111 killed. That's pretty good odds, to be honest with you. I take that just about any day. Of course, the enemy has a much better position on these guys on the far left, and we don't know where the enemy is. Of course, Fog of War could be covering their path back here behind these buildings. Once they start crossing that bridge, we just need to be able to repel them quickly and accurately. Else we do stand the chance of being charged and beaten back. In fact, I want to move these Fusiliers forward. Oh, that's interesting. So the objective point has disappeared. Ah, so now the objective point is to return back a bit. Let's go ahead and do that. Back across the bridge. I'm going to put them in column formation because they're going to be crossing a bridge. And of course, we're not bringing all of our men over here, just a few of them, while the rest hold off the French advance. No French over there on the left yet. And they might be trying to go through this gap in the buildings. I don't think it's going to work out for them, to be honest, but let them try, why not? They're only going to lose a few thousand men. Let him have it, boys. All right, we do have to be careful. Now this is looking like quite a large group. Of course, we've got reserve units just in case, but I'm not liking that, and I don't want these guys to move all the way back. I want them to stay here. We just need about 500 men to be able to hold a certain location, which is what we're trying to do here with this unit in column formation. The glorious flag. Okay, we've actually got a French general getting really close here. Jean-Jules, once again, is not too happy with this situation. We could actually probably charge right now and kill Jean-Jules, but I'm hoping that just a stray bullet catches him, because we've got a lot of enemy moving across the river here. I'm actually going to go for that volley fire once again. Hold your fire for now, men. Wait for them to get in your sights. And now, of course, we let them have it. Boom. And they actually went for the volley fire too. I don't know if you guys saw a few men drop there. Looks like Jean-Jules is going to try to get across that bridge. Probably a good idea. And already it's looking pretty bad for the French here. Okay, we got 6 viewers. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's enjoying so far. Obviously, if you missed part of this stream, and look at that, just like I expected, they are out of here. This is definitely a stream we did on the spur of the moment. We didn't announce it or anything like that. We're just kind of trying out the YouTube live dashboard system here on Matrix Games. But if you guys want to see more YouTube streams, make sure to let us know. And don't forget that this will be uploaded to the YouTube channel one way or another. So, if one of your friends misses the stream, I know it's early for a lot of you guys, not currently in Europe. And in that case, you can always just refer them back to the Matrix Games channel and get them to subscribe here. Okay, we've got our Fusiliers. They should be able to get some shots. There we go. Now it's back under our control. Beautiful. Absolutely wonderful. And we could also move these guys forward as well. Look at those French. They're not stopping. I don't think they're coming back to the battle. They've had it. Even the commander's like, forget this. I've had enough. And that's Brigade Jean-Jules. No wonder General Jean-Jules was so annoyed seeing his brigade run like that. He probably realized, wow, I've got to try to rally these guys, but it's not working out. So some of the enemy are now advancing. Yes, they're sending in their reserve corps. And this is where things could get a little dicey for us. Reform. It was actually my mistake, guys. We're trying to hit the center mouse button, and we reform. That can actually cost us severely if we're not careful. Luckily, our men on the left are still continuing the fight. I feel like the enemy has no idea what to do at this point. Quite a bit of confusion amongst the French lines right now. I think some of them are trying to cross the river, maybe to get across that bridge and flank us. And it does look good Jean-Jules managed to get his brigade together, although after what they've suffered, I would not expect them to be very loyal. Sorry, Thomas Jean-Jules. And he's actually a marshal, not a general. So if I'm not mistaken, a marshal is a higher rank than a general in the French army. I could be wrong. Keep it up, boys. Free fire. What's this? Actually new to the exclamation point. So we're definitely holding this area, making sure there's no other objective zones around us. And as far as I can see, there aren't. We do have some cavalry here, but I don't believe we command this cavalry unit. And indeed, we do not. But they haven't found the need to come forward. And I've actually played this mission by myself and not done so well as I'm doing here. And the cavalry will eventually come to your aid if they feel it's necessary or needed. So the fact that they're not coming to our aid right now is probably a pretty good sign. And we've just left legions of French, scores of French dead on that battlefield. It's not looking very good for the enemy. Make sure that everybody can see the chat. If you're here, make sure to type something in the chat. Again, we didn't put up any sort of banners for this to let anybody know that we were going to be here today. We're just kind of having fun here, trying out and testing out the new system. And maybe it's a sign that we should go head back to Twitch streams as opposed to the YouTube streams. But we wanted to kind of see how this works. Not nearly as many viewers as we usually get. So let yourself be known. Who knows? Maybe you'll get some sort of prize. I actually can't promise you that. One thing I can promise you is that I'm going to get Oberst Hans Philipp August von Luck-und-Witten behind the men, or he's going to get shot by the French. And now we're starting to take some serious casualties, although we've definitely dished out quite a lot. In fact, about one of our men for every 4 Frenchmen here. We are going to start taking a lot of fire because they're spreading their line out a bit. But still, if they can't take this point, I think we win the battle. As far as I can tell, if they don't take this point, we win. Look at that, our men in wonderful column formation. Ready for anything if it comes to that. Actually, I might try to move these Fusiliers forward. Some of the men still trying to cross that bridge. I think that Jean-Jules' men are just trying to regain as much morale as possible, which is going to take probably the entirety of the battle to regain everything they've lost, but it's a good attempt nonetheless. The amount of casualties here is pretty crazy. But I don't like how they're starting to get into more concave formation here. It looks like now they've kind of surrounded the existing units we have, although I think we've got a pretty decent counter. As you can see, it's sort of like a diamond shape right now. I'd love to get these men over here on the far right side of the enemy and deliver some extra rounds, some extra damage, obviously, to the units. But time will tell if that's going to actually occur. Okay, guys, we are way past the 20-minute mark at this point. We were supposed to get orders from the 20-minute mark. We did not get any courier. Obviously, the courier could have been killed in battle for all we know. Maybe his horse could have been shot down. We are holding the main objective point, and we did at least get a nice look at exactly how this particular system works. Let us know if you have any ideas, obviously. If not, thank you so much for stopping by. I think we're going to go ahead and stop the stream here. Not immediately, but pretty soon. And maybe next time we'll actually let you guys know that we're doing a stream on YouTube, and hopefully get a few more viewers to drop in and have a look. Hello, Roman. It's good to see you. I actually don't know as much about multiplayer as I would like to know. I can certainly take a look. I believe Roman Egrov is Shagros. Is that correct? I've always wondered over here if you were Russian or from your actual handle. We thought you were maybe Montenegrin. Both are very cool to us, but we certainly thought for a second there that we might have the first Montenegrin, article writer, YouTuber, etc., to join our company, which would have been pretty cool, or I should say, to be somebody that presents our games in such a positive way. We really do appreciate it. Oh, those French are trying to get out here, and it looks like finally one of our brigades got out of here, the Jäger Eibeitelung. I think I'm saying that correctly. Thanks, Jans Henkel von Milke. So, yes, for multiplayer, you should check out the Kriegsspiel mod and community. That may very well be the case. And we've got a few Frenchmen running as well, so we're not the only ones getting out of here. And the important thing is we're still holding the objective. I would love to face some folks in multiplayer. In fact, maybe that's an event we can do over here at Matrix Games, is face you guys as the developers in a large multiplayer battle. Maybe we do the entire Battle of WAVRE. I'm not sure how you guys would feel about that. Only a few of us actually know how to play the game over here. This is a very busy office. We're always working to try to make awesome games for you guys. So it's only guys like myself, Kevin B, who do have some free time to, of course, come in here and stream these games for you, show you some of the cool aspects of them. I'd love to, at one point, attempt a multiplayer game against the users. I think that would actually be very, very fun. The only handicap is going to be that I get to choose the side. How about that? I don't think that's too much to ask. In this battle, you get to be the French. I'm going to remain as the Prussians. Keep moving up. I think that these skirmishers actually can fire from this location. But I am going to turn on the volley fire once again. A bit late for that, as they've already let go of their guns. Nonetheless, there's always time for victory. No problem, Roman. And thank you guys for showing up. We do appreciate it. Especially, without any notice whatsoever. I do hope you guys did get a notification in your inbox. If not, let me know how you actually spotted this stream, because we do want to sort of find out how people find these streams, etc. Usually when we do our Twitch streams, obviously we give you quite a bit of notice, early notice, so that you can show up on time. In this one, we just kind of decided to go ahead and do a stream for fun. And look at that, the French are definitely pulling back here. I think that there's nothing else you can call that but a total victory. Just crossing that river, they thought they could get across. They were sorely mistaken. I wonder if you guys know what this exclamation point means. I really would like to find out, actually. Oh, we've got some enemies on the left. I was worried about this, that some enemies would try to cross the bridge, so we're going to immediately try and wheel around so that we can face them. Obviously, the better the wheel, well, the closer we are to firing at them, the better. And it looks like they're going to take off. Look at that. As soon as they saw that we were aiming at them, they were like, nope, you know what? We've actually decided not to face you across the bridge. I think they know that's pretty much suicide. And remember, we beat them with a far smaller force. The enemy absolutely had a superior force during this battle. so far, we're doing just fine. We still have the location. Of course we do. We've also still got some Fusiliers all the way back here. We might bring them forward. Some Jaegers, I should say. Some Skirmishers is actually the correct title. A few French coming back to the battlefield, but not without some serious coaxing by the general. Or in this case, maybe the Marshal. Marshal de Comprenez, José Duperroux. I believe I'm saying that correctly. Oh, very cool. So Steam is live in your announcements page. Very awesome. Or the stream, I should say. So yeah, I mean, obviously, for those of you that have not already subscribed to the Slytherin stream, jump over there and subscribe to that. This is, of course, the Matrix stream and the Matrix channel. We're going to be doing a lot more with this channel because I know a lot of our videos are over on Slytherin, but that's going to change very soon, where we're really going to try to do 50-50. Of course, Scourge of War is a Matrix game. So a little bit different than a lot of the Slytherin titles. We face a lot more, I guess you could say, technical. You certainly need to know what you're doing, and even I don't fully know what I'm doing, although on battles like this, these are a bit more user-friendly. You can actually check the difficulty of the battle before playing it, which I highly recommend everybody does. Looks like we don't control this group of skirmishers, so hopefully they know what they're doing. Sounds like a steady rain. Of course, that rain is, of course, lead musket balls and not nearly as refreshing. Fouille, mon ami. Okay, so some of our men are pulling back. Not the greatest situation in the world. That 2nd Battalion had basically held on the entire battle, losing 155 men, killing 316. We did manage, though, to break the spirit of the French over there in the distance. We'll take a look at who they represent. And it's the 88 M. Deline, the 2nd Battalion. Once again, Genote's men. Genote has not had a good day today. I think he's over here, actually. That's Van Damme. That's Heber. So actually, Genote is probably somewhere over here. He's pouting for sure. He's not happy with this outcome at all. And who can blame him? Okay, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that short, somewhat short, 45-minute long stream. Of course, in the future, we will give you guys fair notice, but I would like to hear on the main video once this is uploaded to the actual channel here on YouTube, whether you prefer Twitch or you prefer the YouTube live streaming service, kind of which one you think is best or more appropriate, and we can obviously go from there. But thank you guys for showing up. I do appreciate it. Take care, have an awesome day, and of course, if you haven't yet, make sure to head over to the Steam store and take a look at WAVRE. It's a wonderful expansion for Scourge of War Waterloo, and if you guys haven't purchased Scourge of War Waterloo yet, well, what are you waiting for? I mean, this is the time. Of course, this battle is directly from the expansion pack, WAVRE, which is just so fun. You can already see the amount of bodies here. You're not going to run out of things to do with this expansion, that's for sure. And we certainly haven't run out of things to do. We could probably carry on this fight for another 15 minutes. But we're going to call it a day. I can actually see some French behind us over here. I don't think they plan to attack, but it's interesting to see that they're just kind of watching our men destroy their army piece by piece. We'll definitely call this heavy fighting. Thank you so much for showing up, guys. Take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.